before I take a big bite of my sandwich. Sorry. I was like, oh yeah, it's about to end. And I was like, oh. Hey, I'm Skip Elsummer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where we watch old 16mm films. And that one was interesting. It was silent, and it had color. Made in 1941. I think it was distributed by Bell and Howell. They probably bought the footage and edited it. And released it, distributed it. They had a library of films that they distributed to kind of help sell their projectors and their cameras. So this is one of them. And that ultimately came from Oregon Archive, who got it from the Mogul Brothers Film Library. All right, what do we got? We got so much stuff. This film, Imagery in Space, set up on the scanner. This has a lot of great paper in it. If the film breaks, please do not splice film yourself. Damaged. The film is broken, torn sprocket holes, add splices, film is scratched. And then finally, this is great. Please do not rewind film. And the reason why is because twofold. One, they could inspect the film back at the library or wherever the film was held. And also, some people, when they would rewind a film, they would just run the film right back through the projector, not realizing that they could just bypass it and just go straight across the top. And what that would do is shred. It could potentially shred the film. All right, so here is Imagery in Space. Enjoy.
Space is nothing. Negative. It exists only as related to something positive and non-spatial. Space is, however, real. It contains and conditions motion. It even moves. Space is around us, within us, between us. As space flows, it beckons to be enclosed, to be emptied, to be filled with visions of dreamers, to be filled with imagery in space. Drifting in space, the artist's images suspend until they are given order. Out of imagination and back into space, the imagery converges. Look straight ahead. Your eyes search through the illusion of space toward one point, infinity. And there are other ways to relate to space. Outside, along planes, edges, curves. And inside, through interiors which enclose spaces of their own. What is space when you are still? You move, and space plays a game. Volumes become larger. Look between. The spaces are rhythmic, fluid, and graceful. Forms in space are solid and positive, but they are not really ever permanent. They are continually changing. It is space which is all-pervasive, everlasting. Long after a work of art has vanished, space remains. Select carefully those things you wish to put in space and where you wish to place them. How you perceive space determines how you relate to your world.
Well, that was whacked out. Holy cow. I pulled the film, and I hadn't looked at my notes from when I'd first seen it, and it basically said that this was visually trippy and insane electronic soundtrack, and man, it did not disappoint. And it's unfortunate that it didn't credit the musicians. There's some of it sounded a little like Carl Stone, who shows up in another educational film I have called Plastics. But yikes, that was really phenomenal. Wow, where do I go from there? How about opportunities in welding? Enjoy.
Today, 95% of all metal joining is done by welding. It can be manual, automatic, or semi-automatic. It can be gas welding or electric arc welding. There are several types of welding and many kinds of skills to be learned and mastered if you're looking for a career with steady advancement and good pay. High school graduates with some familiarity with acetylene and arc welding techniques may qualify as entry or beginning welders. Starting with simple jobs, you gain skill and knowledge by working on flat surfaces alongside experienced men. Upright or vertical welds present more problems and require more experience.
Well, you better remember that you're doing vertical welding, which is one of the most difficult positions. And I noticed that your angle of your wire There was not at the proper angle.
So this undercut here, how do I avoid that?
Well, the undercut you avoid by hesitating a little more in each side of the plate.
Yes.
Otherwise, if you don't hesitate long enough, when you are manipulating the wire, you will create undercut in each side of the plate.
Your career as a welder might begin in one of the large shipyards, spot welding or tacking structural beams to temporarily support the plate steel of the deck. Or you might begin by working as part of a team operating the automatic track rod equipment, making continuous welds on deck plates that have already been tacked together. To keep several units going at the same time, you reload the used carbons as the job progresses. Eventually, you become qualified as a first-class welder, familiar with all kinds of metals and skilled in all types of welding, including the short arc and flex core equipment. Many products used in industry, such as an electric forklift truck, are built almost entirely by welders. In a shop like this, you work on production jobs right off. Pay raises and advancement come as you gain skill and speed in your work. The job you do is often to special order, as it is in truck body and boiler making shops. Each order is different and follows the customer's special requirements shown on the detailed drawings and blueprints. With experience at many types of jobs, you can qualify as an inspector who's responsible for checking finished work. Every shop, large or small, provides many opportunities for promotion to foreman or department supervisor. A man with interest and drive may want someday to start his own business, which later could grow into a profitable factory or repair shop. Airline companies employ welders for continuing maintenance work on airplanes and aircraft engines. As a vital member of the team responsible for keeping the planes flying, the welder knows that his job is important. Aircraft manufacturers need welders for practically every stage of building a huge jetliner, for space capsules, and rocket engines as well. On every kind of construction project, welders are employed to work from the ground up, from the steel pilings that support a towering skyscraper to the floor plates on the penthouse. Skilled men are needed everywhere, and the important skills are first learned in school. It's a good time to find out if welding is the right career opportunity for you.
Thank you, Kevin, for the donation. That's one way you can support us, besides hitting the thumbs up button or the like button, is that you can actually hit the super thanks button and donate cash to us, which we will spend on things like dongles. The new Macintosh scheme is that everything looks elegant, but then you have like 1,000 dongles coming off of it, so you can actually plug in your hard drives or your whatevers. All right, what do we got? Let's think about algebra as a way to think about numbers. And what I like about this is I kind of previewed the first couple of minutes of it. The first thing that this kid says is awesome. I want to figure out how to use it in everyday life. Enjoy.
If you shake your head at me, I'm gonna sock you one.
Oh, come on, Tom. Do you want me to help you or don't you?
Sure I do. But what gets me so mad is that I never used to have any trouble in arithmetic.
But algebra is just another way of thinking about numbers. The big difference is this. In arithmetic, you think about numbers in particular. But in algebra, you think about numbers in general. Look, you know why this is true, don't you?
Sure, there's some law.
The commutative law of addition.
That's right. I learned it in arithmetic.
Well, this is the way you say the same thing in algebra. Letters take the place of the numbers. The commutative law of multiplication would look like this in algebra. The associative law of addition, which is like this in arithmetic, would look like this in algebra. Here's the associative law of multiplication in arithmetic, and here it is in algebra. And the distributive law of multiplication with respect to addition can be expressed in both ways too, arithmetic and algebra. You use the same laws in algebra that you do in arithmetic. And you do the same operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. The only difference is arithmetic is particular and algebra is general.
Well, I think I understand that all right. But it's when I have to work with algebra that I get into trouble.
It isn't hard. Look, here's a picture of the company I worked for last summer. I could use algebra to describe all sorts of things about the company. For example, how many girls do you think worked there?
I don't know.
Then let's call the number n. That's not so hard to understand, is it?
No, we used n in arithmetic sometimes.
Then suppose they hired one more girl.
That'd be n plus 1.
Right. You see, we're using algebra now.
But that was easy.
Okay, let's do another. let's suppose X tons of the company's product are being shipped in this truck. How many are being shipped in this truck?
How about Y?
Fine. And how many tons are being shipped in this truck?
Z?
Okay. And suppose the company's full shipment for one day was represented by those 3 truckloads. How many tons would be shipped that day?
Well, X plus Y plus Z?
Plus Z. Right. You see, letters represent numbers. Algebra is just another way of thinking about numbers.
Okay, but what about equations?
The same goes for them. They're part of algebra. All you have to do is put an equal sign here and set it equal to, say, T for total. And we have an equation. The sum of the tons in each of the trucks equals T, the total tonnage for the day. And suppose all this went to one factory, and the total was 125 tons. Then T would equal 125. You see, an equation is just like a sentence.
But is it right that an equation may not be true?
Sure, the same as any statement.
Then that's something I just don't understand.
Well, here's a statement. The moon is made of green cheese. True or false?
False. Okay, so a statement can be false. But what about equations?
Let's try another statement first. 3 plus 4 equals 7.
That's true.
Now, is this true or false? 3 plus n equals 7.
3 plus n equals 7?
That's right. Is this equation true or false?
I don't know. It could be true or false. You tell me what n equals, and I'll tell you which.
Now, don't you see? You could tell right away if all those other sentences were true or false. But not this one. This one isn't true or false. Not until we give n some particular value. If n equals 1, then the statement is false. 3 plus 1 doesn't equal 7. The statement is false if n equals any number except what?
4.
Right. 4 is the only solution to the equation. It makes the sentence true. That's all an equation is. It's sometimes called an open sentence because you don't know whether it's true or not until the letter is replaced by a number. Then you solve the equation by finding the replacement or replacements which make it true.
I guess I understand. But you don't really use equations, do you?
You don't? Suppose you were in charge of the maintenance of this building. Suppose you wanted some repair work done, and you needed to know the area of the front part of the roof. How would you find it?
That's easy. It's a rectangle, so you measure the length and the width of the roof. The area equals the length times the width.
And that's an equation.
A equals LW? That's a formula.
But a formula is an equation.
You mean whenever you use formulas, you're working with equations?
That's right. For example, think about time, rate, and distance formulas. Distance equals rate times time. Rate equals distance divided by time. Time equals distance divided by rate. You know these formulas. Well, they're all equations. Even something as simple as this is an equation. The cost of shipping a company's product equals the rate per ton times the number of tons.
So algebra is just using equations?
No, I didn't say that. In fact, you can use algebra just as well to show that things aren't equal. For instance, suppose a baseball park holds 50,000 people. Then any time attendance should be less than 50,001.
Does this little mark mean less than?
Yes. This whole thing is called an inequality. An inequality like this is also an open sentence. Here's another one. Take a warehouse like the one this company owns. If it holds 100 tons of the company's product, you know that the amount that can be shipped out can't be more than 100 tons. So if 2 trucks do the shipping, and if X tons are in one truck, and U tons are in the other, then X plus U must be less than or equal to 100 tons.
But how do you use inequalities?
Well, in problems like this. Let's imagine 3 warehouses that the company owns in different parts of the country. Warehouse 1 can hold 100 tons. Warehouse 2 can hold 200 tons. And warehouse 3 can hold 100 tons. Now, orders come in from 2 factories. One wants 125 tons of the product, and the other wants 225 tons. Now, we want to keep total shipping costs as low as possible. The shipping rates are different from each of the warehouses to each of the factories. $1 a ton, $2 a ton, $3 a ton, $4 a ton, $5 a ton, and $6 a ton. We don't know the number of tons shipped from each warehouse. So let's think about the first factory and let X represent the number of tons shipped to it from warehouse 1. Y, the number of tons shipped to it from warehouse 2. And Z, the number of tons shipped to the factory from warehouse 3. In the same way, we can represent the number of tons from the 3 warehouses to the other factory with the letters U, V, and W. Now we can write some equations and inequalities. I'll give them to you and you write them down.
Okay.
X plus Y plus Z equals 125. That's because 125 tons in all are going to the first factory. U plus V plus W equals 225 because that's how much is going to the second factory warehouse. And we know that X plus U must be less than or equal to 100 because there are only 100 tons in this warehouse. For the same reason, Y plus V must be less than or equal to 200, and Z plus W must be less than or equal to 100. Now, if we call the total shipping cost C, then C equals the sum of the cost for each of the shipments. $1 per ton times X tons, plus $2 per ton times Y tons, plus 3 times Z, plus 4 times U, plus 5 times V, plus 6 times W. Do you have it written down?
Yes. C equals X plus 2Y plus 3Z plus 4U plus 5V plus 6W.
Fine. So you see, you have to find the set of values for all these equations and inequalities that give you the lowest value for C.
I'm lost. How do you do it?
Well, one way to do it is build yourself a little table like this. See? You keep trying different sets of values for these letters until you find the combination that gives you the smallest value for C in the equation. But unless the solutions are very easy, you'll probably never be sure. That's why a computer is usually used for solving this kind of problem. The hard part is setting up the problem, and that's where algebra comes in. Now, let's see if I've been getting through to you. How is algebra different from arithmetic?
Well, in algebra, you think about numbers in general.
Right.
But you use the same rules in algebra that you do in arithmetic.
Very good.
Letters stand for numbers. And when you put them equal to something, you have an equation. Equations can be true or false.
That's the idea.
You solve the equation by finding the numbers the letters stand for that make the equation true.
And how can you use equations and inequalities?
To show relationships between numbers. Did I understand what you were talking about?
You sure did. I think you see now that algebra is just a continuation of arithmetic.
Sure. It's just another way of thinking about numbers.
I'm not sure why YouTube's chat decided to have a freak out. Maybe it was actually watching Imagery in space and just was like, whoa, and lost track. All right. I have a short film. This is going to go a little bit over, but I hope that's okay. So tonight at the Alamo in Raleigh, I'm going to be showing some 16 millimeter sci-fi school shorts based on short stories by Isaac Asimov and Ray Bradbury. And I have a lot of them. Well, not a lot of them, but I have several of them. And this is one I'm not going to show, but I figured I'd give you a taste. This is 0 Hour. Enjoy.
$7:00. Time's a-wasting. Time's a-wasting.
Heavens, Mink, what's going on?
The most exciting game ever.
Slow down, catch your breath.
No, all right. Oh, can I take these things, Mom?
Just don't dent them.
Thanks, thanks.
What's your game called?
Invasion.
Invasion?
This, and this, and this. Bring that over here. No, here, Minnie. Right, now get back while I fix this. Like that, see? Yeah! Go away.
I want to play.
Can't.
Why not?
You'll just make fun of us.
Honest, I wouldn't.
No, we know you. Go away.
Hey, Joe, come on, let them sissies play. I want to play.
You're too old.
I'm not.
You'll just laugh and spoil the invasion.
Joe, come on, don't waste your time.
Anna, take notes. I don't have a pencil. Here. Can you say that again? Just once more. Triangle. What's a triangle? Never mind. Just write it down. How do you spell it? T-R-I. Oh, spell it yourself. Beam. I haven't even got triangle yet. Well, hurry.
Triangle.
Thank you, Mrs. Morse.
You're welcome, Anna.
Beam? Beam. 4, 9, 7, A and B and X, and a fork, and a string, and a hexagony. Hexagonal.
It is 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Time for lunch. Time for lunch.
You sit right back down, young lady. Hot soup in a minute.
Hurry, Mom, Mrs. Life and death.
I was the same way at your age. Everything was life and death, I know. Slow down.
Can't. Jill's waiting for me.
You can. Who's Drill?
You don't know him.
It's a peculiar name. Is he a new boy in the neighborhood?
He's new, all right.
Which one is Drill?
He's around. You make fun. Everyone pokes fun.
Was Drill shy?
Yes. No. In a way. Gosh, Mom, I gotta run if we want to have the invasion.
Who's invading what?
Martians invading Earth. Well, not exactly Martians. They're, I don't know, from up.
Are you sure they're not from inside here?
You're laughing. You'll kill Drill and everyone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Is Drill a Martian?
No, he's, well, maybe from Jupiter or Saturn or Venus. Anyway, he's had a hard time.
I imagine.
They couldn't figure a way to attack Earth. Drill says Earth's
Impregnable.
That's the word he used.
My. Drill is a smart little boy using words like that.
Drill says, in order to make a good fight, you gotta have new ways of surprising people. That way you win. And he says you gotta help your enemy.
A fifth column.
But they couldn't figure a way to surprise Earth or get out.
No wonder. We're pretty darn strong.
Then one day, they thought of children.
Well,
they thought how grown-ups are so busy, they never look into rose bushes or on lawns.
no, only for snails and fungus.
And there was something about dim-dims.
Dim-dims?
Dimshums.
Dimension.
That's it. 4 of them. Something about kids and not an imagination. It's really interesting to hear Jill talk.
Well, you're certainly getting an education, Mink. You're keeping Drill waiting. If you want to have the invasion before you take your bath, you better jump.
Do I have to take a bath?
You do?
Jill says I won't have to take baths.
Oh, he does he?
He told all the kids that, and we could sit till 11 o'clock.
Drew better watch his step, or I'll call his mother. What is it, dear?
We're having grown-ups. We'll kill them first.
And your father and I last.
Jill says you're dangerous. Know why? 'Cause you don't believe in Martians. They're gonna let us kids run the world. I might be queen. Mom? What's logic?
Logic? Why, logic is knowing which things are true and not true.
He used that word. And what's impressionable?
Why, dear, impressionable means to be a child.
Thanks for lunch. Mom, I'm sure you won't be hurt much. Right there, and this right here.
Hi, Helen, how are you?
Hello, Mary. How are things out there?
Fine. How are things in New York? You look tired.
It's the children, always underfoot.
Oh, I know. Mink's the same way. The super invasion.
Is Mink playing that game, too?
Yes, tomorrow it'll be something else. Were we this bad when we were kids?
Worse. I don't know how my parents put up with me. I guess they just learned to shut their ears.
Shut their ears.
What's wrong, Mary?
Oh, no, nothing. I was just thinking about shutting eyes and ears and such. Where were we?
My boy Tim is fascinated with some new guy named, Drill, I think it was.
Oh, it must be some new password or something. Mink likes him, too.
I didn't know it got out as far as you. Word of mouth, I guess. I talked to Josephine and her kids in Boston. They're wild about this new invasion game. Must be sweeping the country.
Hi, how's it going?
Almost finished.
What's that?
A yo-yo. Watch. See?
Do that again.
Can't. 0 hours, 5 o'clock. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, Tim brought one of those in this morning, and when I tried it, it didn't work.
Well, you're not impressionable.
What?
Oh, nothing. Something I just thought of.
Mary, I wanted to get that black and white cake recipe.
It is 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. Finish those chores. Finish those chores.
Was that Peggy Jane crying?
Yeah, she's a scare baby. We won't let her play anymore. She's getting too old to play. I guess she grew up in a hurry.
Nonsense. That isn't why she cried. Give me a civil answer, young lady, or into the house you come.
I can't quit now. It's almost time. I'll be good. I'm sorry.
Did you hit Peggy Jane?
No, honest. You even asked her. There. And
What's wrong?
Joe's stuck halfway. If he can only get him all the way through, It'd be easier. Then all the others can come through after him.
All right. But I'll call you for your bath when your father gets home, so you'd better hurry. I'm getting a little tired of your invasion game.
It is 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. Time to relax. Time to relax.
0 hour. What's your game called?
Invasion!
Who's invading what?
Martians invading Earth. Well, not exactly Martians. I don't know. Mom.
I talked to Josephine and her kids. That's in Boston. They're wild about this new invasion game.
We're having trouble with guys like Pete Fritz and Joe Jerk. They're worse than rodents. We'll kill them first.
Who's Drill?
A yo-yo.
Which one is Drill?
I might be queen. Mom, I'm sure you won't be hurt. I can't quit now. Mom, it's almost time.
Hello, dear.
Hi.
Beautiful evening, isn't it? Makes you glad to be alive. Say, I got some good news today. Our convention next year, it's going to be in...
Why is it so quiet?
Quiet. What's that?
I don't know. Those children don't have anything dangerous out there, do they?
Well, nothing but some pipes and hammers and a bunch of junk. Why?
Nothing electrical.
Well, I didn't notice anything. I'd better go look.
Tell them they have to quit. It's after 5. Tell them to put off their invasion until tomorrow.
What's that?
Up this way.
What is it?
It's in the attic. That's where it is. Hurry!
It's not in the attic. It's outside.
No, it's in here. I'll show you. Hurry!
Mary, what is this?
Invasion. It's the children. Drill. Another planet. Using the children.
It's nothing. No. It's nothing. Calm down.
Maybe we're safe until tonight. Maybe we can sneak out. Escape.
That's crazy. I'll have to find the key first.
Yes. I'm crazy. Just stay with me.
Who's coming into my house? Who's trapping around down there?
Mom? Dad? Where are you?
Who's downstairs? Who's there?
No. Shh. Please, shh. Maybe they'll go away.
Mom? Dad? Mom! Dad! Peekaboo!
So tonight, I'm going to be showing Ugly Little Boy, All Summer in a Day, and The Veldt. Pretty amazing stuff. All Summer in a Day, I've had people reach out to me about because they saw it as a kid, and it kind of traumatized them. So, if you're in the Triangle area, come by the Alamo Draft House in Raleigh, 7 o'clock, and watch some of these films for free. Thanks for watching, man. It's great. There's some great stuff today. Some unintentional and some very intentional. But just as a reminder, I'm going to send out emails, I think, later today for the AV Geeks After Dark show, which will be Saturday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, after dark, basically, where we'll be watching films that I really don't feel comfortable sharing on YouTube, either because the content or because of copyright stuff. So we're putting together a program of some fun stuff for you to watch. Thanks again for tuning in. If you like what you saw, hit the thumbs up. Hit the super thanks button if you want to donate. You can also go to ko-fi.com/abgeeks. Excuse me. Or patreon.com/abgeeks. The invites are also for the After Dark screening, are also for Patreon members too, who have been supporting us so that we can buy little buttons with strawberries on them and hard drives. Thanks again, everybody. Hopefully I'll see you tonight. Everybody take care. We'll see you tomorrow if I don't see you tonight.